Filthy Richwood Story. I'm Hannah, and I am so excited to be joined with a special guest today, KJ. She is a powerhouse publicist, founder of the Hearsay PR, and author of How to Be a Media Darling. With nearly 30 years in the industry, KJ is the strategist you call when you're the best kept secret, and that's no longer an option for you. You want to be known. She is featured everywhere from Forbes to Architectural Digest. And what I love about her work is that it's not just about the fame, it's about credibility, legacy, and story, which is in alignment with this podcast. So KJ, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Before we dive into strategies, the name of this episode or this podcast suggests that we love stories here. So I would love to start with your story, because I know every single expert has a story, something they want to share that goes beyond like why I started this business. There's another layer to that, and I love to just hear every single person's own unique approach to why they are sitting here across the camera from me today. So go ahead, dive in, let us hear it.
So I am from a very small town in North Dakota, and I learned very young that everyone will die famous in a small town. Everyone knows your business. If you did something on your way home, before you got home, it was across town. And so I feel like I learned at a very young age that my teenage shenanigans, I needed to have a good story for when I got home. And so I think that's where the publicist in me was born. I went to school in North Dakota. We had a mix of, I think my degree was communications, and we had a mix of, here's what a journalist does. Here's what PR is, for like 2 weeks. It wasn't a very in-depth thing. And so when I graduated from college, I had kind of an understanding of how the world works, but I thought I knew everything, but I had no clue about everything. And so my first job was an internship in public relations, and I learned everything. I just thought it was fantastic. And I learned that all the time I've spent before school just hyping up my friends and their little businesses, and whether it had an Etsy shop or if we were putting together the lemonade stand, like I was the hype girl. I was the one that was going to draw the people in. I was the one that was going to act like a fool to get the attention. I was born to be a publicist. There is nothing I like more than sharing people's stories and telling people about other people's businesses. Like, we've all worked hard on our own brands, but we're the worst at telling people about our own brands. And I like to think of myself as a professional hype girl. The girl that you meet Saturday night in the bar who's had way too many, but is telling you that you look great and your lipstick's perfect and your whatever. In a professional setting, I am that girl. I am the girl who's going to tell you to chase your dreams, and here's how we're going to get there. I think all too often, especially as women, we're taught to play small and be in a small box and not to step outside that box. And you can be successful, but you can't be too successful. And I just think all that's bullshit. I think if this is your dream, you should go chase it. And you should find every single person along the way. And I want to champion those people. If my best friend has a business tomorrow, I'm going to be the first person in line to tell every single person I know about that business. And I'm going to cheer them on because I want to see them succeed. Because when one woman succeeds, we all succeed. And I love that for us.
Yeah, I love that. We have very similar reasons for doing what we do. I started out as just like a social media manager, and every single like business that I started working with, mostly women, they all struggled to post content online, and that's why they hired me. And I would have to be like, come on, give me something, give me more. We have to you got to be louder. We got to do stuff. And eventually I realized I was like, I'm in the wrong business, because I don't want to be just posting content for these women. I want to be pulling those stories out of them and helping them really feel confident online, because so many people have incredible talents. Yes. Or, they have these gifts. They want to help people. They want to have impact. Or maybe they have like a product-based business and they have like this amazing thing they've created, but they're so embarrassed to share it, or they're afraid of what people will think. And
yes,
we need more people like us who are like, come on, you've got this. Right. And please tell me that professional hype woman is in your marketing, because that's
no, but it needs to be. You know what? I'm going to add it after this. I'm going to add it. Yeah, for all the things you just said, all the reasons you just said. You know who doesn't feel like they're worried about what other people will think, or they're afraid to post? Men don't feel that way. And I wish that my girlfriends and I had 1 ounce of the audacity of a man who has no idea what he's talking about, because they are the loudest in every single room. But I think part of it too is that social media is not a safe space if you're a woman. You are either supposed to be posting thirst traps, or you're supposed to be posting that you can show everything and do everything, when the reality of the situation is none of us have it all together. We are all calm docs on social media, and then we're kicking our feet like chaos underneath. And I think social media bleeds into all of our insecurities. And it just makes everything more amplified. When the truth is, if you just sit down and really talk about the shit you're going through or how hard things are, and not come from a victim angle, but come from a, look, I'm just being honest. This is where we're at. That's the story that people are going to want to share. And the truth of the matter is, you don't even have to be, I mean, I call it suffering, but those aren't suffering stories. They're just everyday stories. Every single person I talk to is like, oh, I don't need PR. I don't have a good story. Every single person has a reason why they started their business. And every single one of those stories is what your local news, the national news, lifestyle publications, that's what they want to hear. And I have made it my mission to help everyone tell those stories.
I love that. Oh, this is going to be such a good conversation. I can already tell. So you built your career on helping other people to get seen, but you mentioned just when we were talking before coming on the show that there was a time where you were booked solid. People envy this. They dream of this, having a full calendar, having the clients, but there was a time where you didn't feel like people knew who you were. Can you take us back to that moment and like how you navigated that, how you went through that yourself?
Sure. I'm usually a client's best friend, or I'm their best kept secret. I have clients that will refer me to everyone, and I have clients who want no one to know that they work with me because they don't want people to know they have to work with a publicist, which I don't know why there's anything wrong with that. Or they don't want people to know who I am, so they can't come find me and work with me. And I try to be understanding of all sides, even if I'm not understanding of all sides. But for the longest time, I had a client. Well, I've had many clients, but it really struck me. I brought one client on Oprah. Went back and Oprah had a show. I had a client on Oprah. She was about to go on Oprah. It was going to change her life. She's hyperventilating in the green room. And she just looked at me and she's like, I don't think you understand what you've done for me, KJ. You're about to change my life. Like this is the last moment where I'm me and I'm not whatever her brand was. And I said, yeah, I mean, happy to help, like, oh shucks, like this is what we do.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was happy for her. I was genuinely happy for her. I was excited for her. Watching her rise afterward has been amazing. Still talk to her almost daily. But I wasn't being seen. My work was being recognized, but I was not doing anything for myself. I had purposely built a career where I was behind the camera, behind the scenes, not showing up, and yet spending every single day challenging my clients to show up, to be there, to put themselves out there, do whatever. And I wasn't doing it myself. So I got home from that trip with her and I realized I need to start putting myself out there. And so I opened myself up to more television, actually doing interviews, wrote my first book, was appearing on podcasts and doing all that stuff. And I've had moments in time where I step back and then I'm like, oh, I'm doing it again. And my clients they'll call me to the carpet and be like, you're telling me I have to go do these things, but you've never spoken on a stage this year. And so, I started the Blitz. I had a client say something to me in the beginning of September of this year. So just a few months ago. And she was like, you're challenging me to be on these podcasts. You're challenging me to do all these things, but you're not doing all these things. And so I said, you know what? I will put my money where my mouth is. I will make myself my client. I will put just as much time on myself as I do you. And I'll put myself out there for podcasts, for interviews, whatever. Since September 29th, which is not even a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
I think I have 55 podcast appearances. I've had 3 speaking opportunities. One of them's been an international keynote in Scotland, of all places. Like, I'm a little girl from Fargo, North Dakota, Scotland. And I've been nominated for an award. And I feel like that speaks to the power of public relations. And when you're ready to own your story and stop apologizing for who you are, because you have no reason to apologize for who you are, it works when you put yourself out there.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's the embodiment factor that so many people want to see is like, okay, I believe you. I believe you can do stuff for me, but like you go first and that will help me trust you a little bit more. So it's so cool when you implement your own work that you do. It's like so nonchalant. You're like, yeah, of course I do this for my clients. I do this every single day, every single week. It's like not a problem. It's not even a flex for me. But sometimes doing that stuff for yourself, it can be really hard. I've been in that seat too, where I'm like, oh, yeah, we need to be doing this. We need to be doing this in your content. And people are like, well, when's the last time you shared that story? And I'm like, oh, shoot.
Let me
look at my profile. Oh, it's been like 2 months.
Oh, we'll be posting it tomorrow. Thanks.
Exactly. So let's see. I feel like there's a lot of people right now who are in this space of they're kind of fed up. There's a divide, at least in like the bubble that I'm in. There's big names who have the publicity, they're doing big events, they have the big followers, they, you know, all those the like quote unquote things people want. And then there's like the people who are kind of in the middle that are doing incredible work, but it feels like no one knows their name. So I would love to hear, because no one wants to be that best kept secret. Like people, they're like, yeah, I love doing the work with my clients. And they might say like, I don't need all the eyes on me, but deep down they really do. So I would love to hear, what would you say to somebody who's like on the fence, maybe a little afraid to be seen, right? Like afraid to get on talk shows, get their name out there, of like the repercussions that could happen.
I would sit them down and I'd say, we're going to have a little tough love conversation. And the conversation would start with, why did you go into business? You went into business because you believed in something, or you were passionate about something, or you saw that something was missing, or you wanted to help a certain kind of people so they didn't have the experience you had, or your parents, or someone you care about, that sort of thing. By not sharing your gift, by keeping yourself small, by not telling your story, by not stepping out into the spotlight, you are not only doing a disservice to yourself, but you are going out of your way to keep yourself, your gifts, your talent, what you possess, product or service, from the people that can benefit from it. Why would you go through all that time, energy, effort, heartache, the blood, sweat, and tears of having a business if you're not going to promote that business and your passion and what you've given everything to the people that it can help? Like, yeah, you know what? You're going to get a Debbie Downer here or there. That just means you succeeded. If you can make anyone feel any sort of way, that's success. You're not here to please everyone. You're not here to attract everyone. You're here to serve your target audience, show up where they are. And that, I think that's how the conversation would start for me, because I think it's the truth. If I was amazing at publicity, like I feel like I am, if I was amazing at publicity and I didn't tell anyone else how to be amazing at publicity, I'm a jerk. Why would I do that? You know, if you're a doctor, you can heal people, and they announce on the plane, is there a doctor on the plane? And you don't go help the person that's dying, you're a horrible doctor.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. And it goes back to that, being a woman and being kind of trained that, you know, you got to be quiet. You got to be the one who's in the back of the class, like making sure you're getting A's and getting into the good school and everything, but don't be too loud because then you'll be noticed. It's totally been ingrained in so many women's lives since early childhood. And for myself, that's been a huge, huge navigation for me, because I was a shy girl in school. Like I, you know, got good grades. I followed the rules, but I was very shy. And if she saw me today, she'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? This is insane. And I still have those moments where I'm like, who are you to do this photo shoot and like wear this outfit? And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's my old self, not my new self. Like I can be a leader in this moment of people who feel that way, who feel like they're shy. They maybe like decided when they were younger that they weren't confident or whatever. And you can decide to change that at any point in time. I would love to hear what happened when you started to shift into this role. And I know it's kind of recent, but when you started to like pitch yourself more and be your own best PR agent, of like what shifted for you? Did you notice an influx of clients? I know you signed or you secured those 50 plus speaking opportunities. You got that award. Did you see any shift in like your own client work? Like, did your clients have bigger wins because you decided to go for it? I'm super curious about that.
It's all shifted for the better, right? It's like if you leap, the net appears, but it's also kind of an exercise in when one door opens, another door closes. So I've gotten tons of press. I haven't taken any of my time away from my clients. They've got amazing press. I had a client just last week that got her first cover, and it is amazing. She looks amazing. It's amazing. Could cry just thinking about it. My other clients are killing it. I have one that just got her holiday stuff on like the holiday list. I have others that are doing TV. So yeah, I think confidence in myself and putting myself out there has made me even more confident to do more, try harder, be bigger for my clients. At the same time, I've had one or two clients say, I feel like you're spending too much time on yourself. I don't feel like you're doing anything for me. And that truly is it's sped up a conversation that's probably a long time coming, that they aren't really clients that are meant for me. And it's not about me putting myself out there, and it's not about me not spending time with them, because my personal promotion of myself has never impacted any of the time I spend on my clients. But it's also just drawn out the people who, some people are going to see you and they're not going to appreciate what you're doing. And other people are going to see you and be like, okay, she's practicing what she preaches. This is the person I want to align with. And I think, it's the attract or repel. And you know this better than anyone. In business, you have your target audience and everything else is just cannon fodder.
Yeah, there's definitely many times where you're going to go through that growth phase and people are going to get left behind. It's kind of like a call to action of, you're either with me and we're going to go big places, or I'm sorry, I'm no longer the person for you. I love you and I wish you the best. Come back to me when you're ready. And it's so tough, because there was a time, like, you care for them, you care for your clients. And but in reality, like, okay, well, me doing all these things is helping my clients be bigger and do better. And if
Right.
that's not something you support me doing, then I'm sorry, we got to end this relationship. That's tough, but like so impactful. And so many stories came out of that, right? You probably can make posts
Right.
about it now, and you can share about it. It's going to just make you grow further and further.
And I think it's also just a great self exercise, right? To just think about on your own, because I think old me would have been like, oh my God, I've lost clients. That's business, that's money. That's, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to tell people about me? What are they going to, whatever. None of those things occurred to me. I didn't even think about it till we were just having this conversation now, because I have put myself out there and I have made the decision in running Hearsay. It'll be 14 years in December, that every single client that comes to me, whether they stay for a long time, whether they stay for a short time, whether we're just working on a project together, when they leave me, they're going to be better off than when they came. And I can wholeheartedly say I've done that for every single client I've ever had. My business has been strictly referral for 14 years. And I think that speaks volume about, when you show up in the right way for people, when you put yourself out there in the right way for people, yeah, you're not going to be for everybody, but you are going to be for the right people that are right for you.
Yeah, powerful. One thing, a lot of our listeners for this particular podcast and the people that I work with will often, like, an objection I hear all the time is like, why do I need to tell my story? Why do I need to tell client stories and these micro stories and stuff that seem like mundane and stuff, when I have 7 years experience, 10 years experience, whatever, when I have this certification, or when I have this degree? They pull out all these things. And something that you mentioned earlier was that, like, just your expertise alone is not going to get you the exposure that you want, especially now when so many people are being a little cautious when they're investing. So I would love to hear your take on this and what you see.
Well, I think every profession has bad apples, right? We've all heard of PR people that are terrible people. We've all heard of social media agencies that are just out for money. This person's a salesperson, they're a shyster, like this person's grifting, whatever. There's all kinds of those. And I think people want to see the authenticity of a person. They want to know, is this person accountable? Where's this person's value system at? And in telling those stories, like, I don't have to be a Kardashian and have a reality show and let you into my life, but I can show you my personality. I can show you what a day with me is like. I can show you what my clients think about me. No one wants to buy from a brand. No one even really wants to follow a brand. And if they do, it's because it's like Wendy's and they have like really hot takes on TikTok and like threads, but that's not making me go buy a sandwich at Wendy's. So I think it's when you own your story, when you step into it, when you share your stories with people, big stories, small stories, your client stories, all of that, it helps people get to know you. It helps them feel like they have a parasocial relationship with you. It endears you to them, and they can figure out if you're the right person they want to invest time, energy, and money with, or if maybe you're not the right person to invest time, energy, and money with. I know that I use stories both ways. Sometimes there's people I really think I want to work with. I follow them for a while on social media and they give me the ick. And I'm like, nope. That is not a business I'm going to be aligned with. Other times there's people that I have followed for years where I don't even know if I'm ever going to need their services. And then one day I'm like, I really do need that person and need to hire them. So I think it's a short, long-term kind of game thing, but I do really think your story, like, we wouldn't be talking if I hadn't shared my story with you right now, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a couple of my clients if I hadn't shared my story on with their friends or their friends of friends. So I truly think that story is what makes you unique. Anyone can have, I should rephrase that. Not anyone can have a medical degree, but there are a lot of people who have medical degrees. And I think we can all agree that not every doctor is created the same. And so, yeah, I want to know, do I need to know the doctor's home life and what they do if they walk their dog Skippy 4 times a day? No, but I need to know you're not a jerk. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. And the funny thing is, you mentioned that your story got you here. There are so many people that I like basically put out a request to Threads and got, I don't even know, like 70 probably responses. And it was overwhelming. And the quality of responses I got was insane. I got literally nothing versus someone like you who I chose to come onto the podcast giving me their story. And that, like, it probably took you 5 minutes to fill out the form. That probably set you, it did set you apart far more than the person that was like, yeah, I have a story. Hello, this whole podcast is about stories and you're not giving me your story
about said story.
Yeah, use just by having some unique take or like some trial and error story that you went through of like why you have this opinion or why you do what you do, sets you apart from other people. And it doesn't have to be like this. I always say it doesn't have to be this huge rags to riches where you're homeless and now like a multimillionaire. It doesn't have to be like that huge. In fact, that's probably going to shy a lot of people away. They want something that they can really see themselves in. So yes, I love this conversation so much. Let's see. What would you say? So kind of segueing, and we touched upon this earlier, but there are people all the time who are like, well, I don't have a good story. What's your approach to pulling out that headline worthy story and helping them book those, talk shows and get on magazines and stuff and, just get their name out there? What's your approach to someone who feels like they don't have a story to then becoming known for that story?
So if you're my client, the approach is there's an intake form and I ask a bunch of very random, don't seem to go together at all questions. And I want to feel out how they think or talk about themselves. If it's an in-person, like just sometimes at a dinner or like networking event, I'll just be like, so tell me your story. And because like, how are you? How are the weather? Like, what are your goals? Like none of that. Just tell me your story. What are you passionate about? Those sorts of things. There's always a reason why someone started their business. And it's always like, oh, that's amazing. And then I have to stop myself because more times I'm like, you have a great business story and this product. And my husband's always like, just stop for 5 seconds. Like, we're just here for cocktails. Just calm down. But I get every single person, like you said, you have a story. There's a reason why you started your business, and there's a reason why your business is different than someone who does the exact same thing that you do. And in what they might think is the mundane, that's where the gold is. That's what sets them apart. I could throw a rock right now where I am in Dallas and probably hit 15 publicists, but they aren't teaching the way I'm teaching. They don't have the story I do. They don't have the clients I do, and they don't have the experiences that I have. There are some people that are going to want to work with me. There are other people that are going to want nothing to do with me, which they're in luck. There's a million other publicists, but my story and what I bring to things is different than the next person. And I'm going to keep sharing that story. And I hope that your listeners do too.
Yeah, I love that. Times feel like they change every 5 seconds. Has your approach to PR changed over the last few years of business?
No, not at all. I actually think that I see that we are on the cusp of a huge return to traditional media. I think people want long form. I think they want blogs. I think they're starting to read more, both online and offline. I think that Meta has oh my God. Gaslighted. Thank you. Yeah. I got so angry about it. I was like, oh, Meta. I feel like they've gaslighted us so much with the changes to every single thing except the things we're asking for that I feel like my friends are spending less time on social media. I took a 2-year break before I came back just for kind of funsies to like, oh, I'll post here or there or whatever. I'll drop a hot take and then disappear for a month. Seems like a great idea. But the tenets of public relations, since P.T. Barnum made it a thing decades ago, they're the same. It's the same 12 steps that are going to get you repetitive coverage. It is basically putting your story out there and having credible media tell it for you. Because if I tell you I'm the world's greatest publicist, you're going to be like, that's great, KJ. I'm kind of interested, but are you the best publicist? But if you heard it from 3 of your friends you trust, or if you saw me constantly in magazines that you love, follow, admire, you're going to be like, oh, wow, KJ really does know her shit. And that's what public relations brings to the table. I just pulled this stat for a potential client. If you are a product-based business, being in the Every Girl, being on the cut, just one time, appearing in there, it's going to lead to 200 to 500 sales. Just one mention, one brief mention, not a feature, just a mention in a roundup. It's going to easily lead to 200 to 500 sales. There's going to be, if you're mentioned in, another publication of that caliber, it's a 34% chance increase in business for you and traffic. Like a social media post isn't going to do that for you, even if you go viral. But there's the third-party seal of approval. It's why Yelp reviews exist. Yelp reviews exist because it's not marketing. It's an extension of PR. It's other people talking about you, promoting you. And people aren't going to be like, hey, Burger King, how great are your burgers? They're going to be like, oh, did you go to the Burger King? They're like 4.7 out of 5 stars. I wonder why they're not 5. We're not going to Burger King. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
People value other people's opinion more than they value the expert's opinion.
Definitely. And going back to the social media, like changing and everything, going back to long form content and reading books and blogs and YouTube, I've 100% been saying this since AI really started to take off. Like, I don't know when that was, 2023 maybe. It like started to boom a lot. But I remember saying, because I have my brother-in-law is a musician. He was like really scared that AI would take over the jobs of musicians and just like completely eliminate them. And I said, mark my words, people are going to pay more for real life creators to actually, like, for the human aspect, to actually like listen to music again, or pay for art created by humans, not by AI, or read a book that was written by humans. And the same goes for social media and the work that I do. Like, we see it big time right now. People don't like the AI stuff, and they aren't. I know for sure I don't like watching reels anymore. I talked to my husband the other night. He was like, it's so exhausting scrolling on reels, and you don't know, like, the last 8 of them were all AI, and no one asked for this, right? So if you want to stand out now more than ever, you really need to be thinking about how to differentiate yourself from all of these things, and storytelling is how you do that, right? Like, you can bring in your values and your opinions and what you stand for and your experience and your work, and that's what people are going to love about you, and it's the culture of your community, really, at the end of the day.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think you nailed it. Anyone can do AI. I'm not worried about AI taking my job, my friend's job, marketing's jobs, copywriting, any of those things, because AI takes the human aspect out of it. And the human aspect is what sells. Like, yeah, AI might help you get ahead on like 30 social media posts. No one's going to care, but also take all the M dashes out because we know you're using AI. And, but it takes the heart out of it. It takes the person out of it. And you can't promote your business without the person. Like, that's the whole point. And Substack wouldn't be taking off if people weren't reading. It wouldn't be taking off if people weren't writing. And so, yeah, do I see AI making life great in some ways? Yeah. Do I see it ruining life in others? True. But there's a reason why people aren't spending as much time on social media, especially Instagram. And that's because it's the rise of faceless marketing. Look, I don't want to show my face every single day, and I don't show my face every single day, but I'm not going to create a bot to be me. And look, if that's what you want to do and you want to succeed, I personally don't see any faceless marketers truly selling anything except the same faceless marketing system over and over again to one another. And I think people are burnt out by, oh, look, this person looks like a supermodel and they're selling me a course on how I don't have to put my face out there. And I think it preys on people's insecurities, and it's just kind of icky.
Oh, yes. Oh, for sure. We're on the same page there. My business really blossomed when Clubhouse was around. Do you remember Clubhouse?
Yes. Why didn't it stay?
It was so fun. It was live podcasting for people who don't know, where you could just join rooms and chat with other people. And it was so much fun. I would do that literally every single day for hours because I just love talking to other humans.
Yes.
And recently I'm like, I feel like Instagram has been doing me dirty. It like is not pushing out content. So I'm really taking up space on Threads and looking at other platforms as well. And I keep going back to like, can we bring Clubhouse back? Can we bring something back like Clubhouse so that people can just talk to each other again and not have, I guess in a way that was faceless because you weren't having your face out, but it was still your voice and you still could connect with people. That was a tangent, but I'm really nostalgic for Clubhouse.
Rest in peace, Clubhouse. You were awesome while you were here.
Yep. Speaking of virality and success, and you said that like anyone can go viral, and viral doesn't equate to sales. So how would you define success as a PR rep, a person who's helping their clients get more eyeballs on them, but not necessarily virality?
Well, I think on social media, the goal is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone I talk to, they want to go viral on social media. They want to get to 50,000 followers or 60,000 now. It's probably 100,000. The bar keeps being raised. Followers, because they are just, those followers to them are going to equal that much money. It's going to grow things. When in reality, you're going to do something, it's going to go viral. You're going to draw attention like a traffic accident, and you're going to have people who are never going to buy things. So you're going to have like 100,000 followers who just want to see either your downfall, you have a blooper again, or whatever it was that drew you in that first time. They're not and then you're going to be like, oh, I'm an interior designer, have me style your house. And they're going to be like, no, that's not why we follow you. So you're going to have that vanity number. It's not going to do anything. And from that one viral post you might have made, hopefully it had something to do with your business, but even if it did or didn't, how many of those people are really going to convert? When I post something to my audience, I get conversions. I don't have those giant numbers on things. My email list is tiny. My email list buys. Everything I put out there, my email list, they are small, but they are mighty and they are moving things forward. And I used to think that I needed the big numbers. I needed to grow the list. I was believing the hype of all the people, but I would rather have a core group of 20 to 50 people that need my help and value my services and want to pay for my services than hundreds of thousands that make me look good online, but don't have any need or want to pay for what I'm offering. I don't understand that part of the ego metrics. And so I've always found that kind of challenging. For me, I think the proof in the PR pudding for me is it's an art. It's not a science. You aren't going to get immediate metrics like this many people viewed this many people did whatever, but you're going to see in the repetition, the repetition is going to show people are going to be driving to your site. It's in the SEO, it's in the backlinks, it's in how you can get yourself, like you'll notice you'll see one person in People magazine and then suddenly you'll see that person everywhere because they are everywhere because they just did a publicity tour. They just hired a publicist. That's what people like me do. If you need 7 to 8 touches to make a sale, a PR person is going to get you those 7 to 8 touches like that. And social media can't get that for you. So I think what's great about PR is it's your message, your way, on your terms, and you get to push it everywhere all at once. Whereas social media, I feel like sometimes I post and it's just screaming into the void.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I have gone viral before. I have like 700 followers on Instagram, but I went viral on TikTok and it was not fun. I am like the biggest anti-virality person because my clients hire me because they want to make sales from their content. So our goal is to make those connections and then get them to buy, right? Move them through the buyer journey and all that. And when I went viral, it was, again, for like a stupid mistake. I like had 2 songs somehow overlapping on this TikTok and everyone commented in and everyone saw it. And what happened is I gained a lot of followers, true, but no one bought, like not a single person bought what I wanted them to buy. Not a single person joined my email list. At least, actually, maybe some people joined my email list, but not any of them converted. And I've just been like, still to this day, this was probably like 2 years ago, but to this day, I'm still getting those people like unsubscribing from my email list. And I think it's so funny. So like I see so many people in my world, they're paying for ads. They're trying to chase the hooks that are going to get them to go viral. And I'm like, girl, you don't need more eyeballs on your content if your content isn't working for you, if you're not actually converting, right? Because otherwise you're just posting into the void and you're actually not going to get the results that you want. So I love that you redefined what success looks like for you and your clients. And that's something like yes, having more eyeballs on your work is important, but only when it's done in the right way.
Right.
So is there any other things you want to talk about? I'm loving this conversation so much. This is exactly why I wanted you on the show. This conversation's been incredible. The stories you've shared have been incredible. I've learned so much about PR too. Is there anything last minute things you want to chat about?
Yes. Okay. One of the things I have a couple things, but one of the things I want to challenge your listeners to is holiday season's coming up. It's also the start of the new year, and it's time to get all of the ducks in a row. So the key to telling your story to people is having the same story across all platforms. So it's great to take an hour, maybe two, sit back and make sure on your Instagram, on your Facebook, all your social feeds, on your website, your speaker kit or media kit, anything you put out there, your YouTube page, everything. Make sure across the board, imagery is the same, branding's the same, links are the same. Like if it's December and you're still linking to July 4th barbecue looks, we're in trouble here, right? Like, especially if you have a retail store, make sure that the bio, the links, everything is how you want it to be, and that it's consistent across the board. Because as a publicist, the first thing I'd have you change is I never want to send media your way, traffic your way, potential clients or customers your way, if they're going to click on a link and it's going to go to nowhere, or they're going to hear what I have to say and promote you, see you on TV, see you on a podcast, go to your website and hear something completely, be met with someone completely different. That is how you lose credibility immediately. So before the new year, get all your ducks in a row and share your story across all of your channels. That's what I want people to remember.
That's great. And so important. I know I need to update my YouTube because I basically just repurpose these podcast episodes there, but I know it is outdated. So that's something I'm going to run and do as soon as we wrap this up. Great. Where can people connect with you, learn more, work from you? I know we connected on Threads, but
yes,
give us
my new favorite obsession, Threads. Maybe it's Clubhouse without the talking.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram at KJ Blattenbauer. You can go to my website, hearsaypr.com. And if you go to one of those channels, I would love it if you would sign up to be on the promotion list for my new book, Pitch Worthy, which is coming out in January 2026.
Amazing. I love this. And for anyone listening, and most of my people are like social media managers, done for you service providers, coaches. Do they need PR? Can you work with them? How would that look like?
Coaches and social media managers probably need PR more than any industry right now, because sadly, there are so many people who can those who can't teach, but everyone thinks they can do social media. Everyone thinks they can coach. I know a lot of people who say they're business coaches who have never had a business or taken a business course. And I think that those are none of my clients, by the way, but I think combating that this person's a grifter and they don't know what they're talking about is huge in social media right now, especially when things are changing and Meta's deciding the pictures are this big and that big and this whatever, like, and anyone can tell you to do trial reels, should you or should you, there's hot takes every 5 seconds in the social media industry. And I think someone really needs to step up and be the expert there. They need a publicist to help truly get the message out. On the coaching front, it's time for coaches in every single niche to really differentiate themselves. They are all saying the same thing. And I feel like they are all going to the school of ChatGPT. And there's nothing different out there. It is all the same flavor of the same. And I really wish that they would hire a publicist to help separate, cream of the crop rises to the top. Get a publicist to help you.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I don't know. This is exactly the same things I tell my clients too. It's like, you feel like you need to fit in. So you then try on the same branding, the same way of speaking, the same type of content, the same messaging, the same stories. And now, hey, you look like every single other person online. Yeah. Why would someone want to hire you? We got to stand out. You got to be different. And like, honestly, every single day, I'm like, how am I different from other people? Let's talk about that. Let's share this opinion and back it up with a story. Like when you were saying, oh shoot, what were you saying? That, or you just like, everyone's using AI, right? So like I had an experience where there's a really respected coach who makes a lot of money, and I joined her offer, and she gave us all a personalized chat strategy, but literally at the top, it still had the ChatGPT prompt in it. Like, give this to your client. So, like, what the fuck? Yeah. So like that, more and more of that's happening. And I also think there's opportunity for the small people, the small guys, to really take off, because as there's more and more distrust from these people who are getting exposed essentially of like what they're doing, that makes room for the people who truly do care about the work that they're doing. So get smart, hire marketing support, hire PR, get your story out there, clean up your content, make sure it actually is unique and different from everyone else. And like 2026, we're not going anywhere, right? Like social media is not going to go anywhere. Your business isn't going to go anywhere. Like we adapt as times change, and like let's just hit the ground running and go.
Right. And I really want to stress it. It's not, you don't have to be famous. You don't have to be making 6 or 7 figures to hire someone like me. I specifically go out of my way. The people who are making $0, the people who are just starting out or just have a startup or had a side hustle, and to the 6-figure people, those are my people. Those people have the best stories. Those people are the best to promote. Those people are hustlers. Like you're going to tell them to do something. Those people are going to go do it. And they get the best press. A publicist doesn't have to be tens of thousands of dollars. My peers will kill me. My financially savvy husband would probably kill me. My services start at $500 a month. And if you can't spend $500 a month to manage your reputation and move it forward, what are you spending all that money on? You know, I know what it's, I have side businesses. I have other businesses. I have product-based businesses. I have other service businesses. I know what it's like to start from nothing and to be robbing this business to pay that business and do whatever. But to truly grow your business forward, I wish people would look at PR stronger than they look at digital ads and a bunch of other things that cost hundreds or thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, that aren't moving the needle.
For sure. And I know we all, as soon as we see that promotion or whatever, that we instantly skip it. We instantly scroll by. We don't want to look at a single ad. So be smart. Like just listening to you talks, like, yeah, I'm gonna check you out, because you've been so helpful and I loved this episode so much. I think everyone listening is gonna have a lot to think about. And I'm really excited to hear the feedback from this episode. So KJ, thank you so much for joining. You already told us where to find you and everything. So with that, let's just wrap this up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.